don't know if he wants to be disclosed or not. But just to kind of give you some backstory, I was like, hey man, you got any scary stories that have happened to you or anything weird that you want to share? My friend works for an electric company. I will not name them for the sake of privacy, I guess. He says, okay, yeah, I got a story. I got called out around 3 a.m. in the morning once when I was working here in the city that he works in. Security called and said one of the warehouse doors seemed to be open and I needed to go check it out. So I got up, drove to the warehouse, and when I got there, I called him back and I asked which door is showing as open so I can go and assess the situation, right? So security responded and said, I think it's door number 10. Now, door number 10 happened to be located way in the back. Way in the back. So I guess kind of a little bit of a walk. So he gets off his vehicle, says, okay, I'm on it. Starts walking over there slowly and says that it's pitch black, 3 in the morning, so you can imagine. Now, this is a small town. There's not a lot going on at 3 in the morning on the streets. You know what I'm saying? So he's working his way towards this warehouse door. And he was like, okay, I'll call you once I get it done. He was walking towards the back. All of a sudden, he heard little kids giggling. So he looked around and said, what the hell are kids doing up at 3 in the morning? Right? So I freaked out, is what he says. So he's pretty much walking at a haste, goes to the back, sees the door, opens it, closes it, gets back into his vehicle. Says he got the hell out of Dodge. Afterwards, he called security back and said, there, it's closed. Security checks his sensors and says, well, you got to do it again. It's like, what do you mean I got to do it again? It's like, yeah, it's still showing as open. So you got to go and do it again. Obviously, he didn't mention anything to security that there's some kids or something. So he's like, all right, here we go again. So you could imagine, man, you make your way out there, you're already scared the first time, and then they're like, hey, let's run that back, right? So this time he's like, okay, I'm going to beeline it. He gets off of his vehicle, starts walking, but he's walking fast, and he's looking down intentionally, like he doesn't want to see anything. He's looking down and just walking, and he's like, okay, just, focus. And I'm sure everybody could relate, right? Like, whenever you're out in the dark by yourself, it's a very eerie feeling, right? So he's got to be like, ugh, feeling something weird going on. So as he's walking towards the back and he has his head down, he gets this urge, this feeling. He's like, something made me want to look to my left. And on the far end of the aisle, so at the very end, which is where he's walking, he saw a shadowy figure just looking at him. After that night, I never went back into that place alone at night. Now this friend, I could tell you, he's pretty credible. I don't think he scares that easily. So his story definitely shocked me.